Hello friends, welcome to the show Crime Talk. This tale is about love, madness, and stubbornness. In the sun-kissed coastal town of Key West, Florida, where the sea whispers secrets and the palm trees sway in rhythm with life's mysteries, there lived a man whose tale transcends the boundaries of reality and enters the realm of the inexplicable. Dr. Karl Tanzler, a German-born radiology technologist, embarked on a journey that would lead him down a winding path of love, madness, and an enduring obsession with a dream. From the earliest days of his childhood in Germany, Dr. Tanzler was plagued by a recurring dream, a vision that refused to release its grip on his mind. In this ethereal reverie, a vision of a beautiful black-haired girl would appear, her presence so vivid and tangible that it seemed to transcend the boundaries of dreams. To him, this mysterious girl was not a figment of his imagination. She was his destiny. His relatives had whispered to him that she was the woman he would one day marry, his one true love. As the years passed and Dr. Karl's life took him far from his homeland to the shores of America, he believed he had left behind the haunting specter of his dreams. He settled into a new life, married, and became the father of 2 children. The dream, once all-consuming, began to fade into the recesses of his memory, or so he thought. But fate has a curious way of weaving dreams into the tapestry of reality. In the spring of 1930, the winds of destiny brought forth a woman named Maria Elena Helen Milagro de Hoyos, who would irrevocably alter the course of Dr. Karl's life. Helen was a local Cuban American woman, just 30 years old, and she bore an uncanny resemblance to the enigmatic girl from Dr. Karl's dreams. It was as though the very essence of his nocturnal visions had taken form and substance in the world before him. The moment Dr. Karl laid eyes on Helen, a tremor of recognition coursed through his veins. It was as if he had finally unlocked the enigma of his dreams. With unwavering conviction, he believed that this woman, Helen, was the living embodiment of the girl from his nocturnal vision. It was a belief so strong that it transcended reason, defying the skepticism of the world around him. As fate would have it, Helen was not just a mere acquaintance. She was a patient battling tuberculosis, a once feared ailment that had cast its shadow over countless lives. Helen's diagnosis was a harsh blow, but it only seemed to deepen Dr. Karl's resolve. He could not bear the thought of losing her, for he believed that she was not only the girl of his dreams, but the fulfillment of his destiny. Dr. Karl's dedication to Helen went beyond the call of duty. He became a constant presence in her life, visiting her at her home and ensuring she received the best care that he, as a medical professional, could provide. He brought essential medical supplies from the hospital, all the while maintaining a quiet devotion to her, as if they were already bound by the sacred vows of marriage. Their connection was unlike any doctor-patient relationship. It was a bond forged in the crucible of shared adversity, a connection that transcended the sterile confines of the hospital. Dr. Karl saw Helen as more than a patient. He considered her his life partner, his future wife, and he was determined to fulfill what he believed was his destiny. The sands of time continued to flow, and Helen's condition grew increasingly dire. Yet, Dr. Karl's passion remained undiminished. He would spend hours at her bedside, talking to her, providing comfort, and offering solace in the face of her suffering. Helen's family, witnessing the dedication of this unassuming doctor, began to appreciate his unwavering support. They found solace in his presence, knowing that he had become an integral part of their lives. Tragedy, like a shadow that cannot be escaped, eventually descended upon their lives. On April 25, 1931, Helen succumbed to the relentless grip of tuberculosis, leaving Dr. Karl Tanzler shattered. Though their time together had been brief, she had become the living embodiment of his dreams, his muse, and his obsession. In his grief, Dr. Karl made a solemn request to Helen's family, a request that would forever blur the lines between love, devotion, and madness. He wished to take care of her final rites, regardless of the cost. Her family, touched by his unwavering support, granted his wish. What had once been their daily visits to Helen's gravesite transformed into a unique ritual of remembrance. Every day, they gathered at the cemetery, as if Helen was still with them. Dr. Carl, with great dedication, had a grand tombstone erected in her honor, transforming it into their sacred meeting place. Flowers were brought, stories were shared, and their presence became a testament to the enduring power of love. Years drifted by, and an inexplicable change occurred. Dr. Carl Tanzler, who had been a constant presence at the gravesite, suddenly ceased his visits. The family was bewildered, and curiosity gave birth to suspicion. Had time indeed healed his wounds? Helen's sister, driven by an unshakable hunch, embarked on a quest to uncover the truth. Upon entering Dr. Carl's home, she was met with a polite smile. However, as she requested a glass of water, his eyes drifted to another room, leading to a chilling revelation. In that room, she came face to face with the lifeless body of her sister, Helen, carefully preserved and adorned. Maria's sister was confronted with a macabre sight, a woman who had once been her sister, now a lifeless effigy. Dr. Carl had taken it upon himself to preserve her in a grotesque attempt to keep her with him. The shock of the discovery sent shivers down her spine, and she knew that she had to act immediately. Leaving the house, she contacted the police, who arrived with haste. The home revealed the grim truth: a body on a bed, a grotesque creation held together by piano wire, glass eyes, and meticulously constructed with silk cloth soaked in wax and plaster of Paris. It was Maria Elena, Helen, and Dr. Carl had crafted a disturbing facsimile of her, as if he could defy the inexorable passage of time. The horrifying discovery sent shockwaves through the community, and Dr. Carl Tanzler was arrested, detained, and subjected to psychiatric examination. In a twist of fate, he was found mentally competent to stand trial, albeit on the charge of wantonly and maliciously destroying a grave and removing a body without authorization. The police delved deeper into the bizarre case, uncovering a gruesome truth about the body's preservation. Despite the chilling nature of his actions, Helen's family, astonishingly, expressed gratitude toward Dr. Carl. They asserted that he had never wronged them and that he had provided invaluable support to Helen during her battle with tuberculosis. As a result, the court released Dr. Carl without punishment, and Helen's body was returned to her family. The tale of Dr. Carl Tanzler remains a haunting and bewildering story of love, death, and the boundless boundaries of human behavior. It is a reminder that obsession and devotion can lead individuals down dark and twisted paths, where reality blurs with dreams, and the line between love and madness becomes perilously thin. After the macabre chapter of Helen's preservation came to a close, Dr. Carl Tanzler's life took an eerie turn. He left Key West in 1944, departing from the town that had witnessed the most unusual love story in its history. However, he did not leave behind the object of his obsession. Instead, he created a lifelike effigy of Maria Elena, fashioned from a death mask that captured her features in uncanny detail. This effigy became Dr. Carl's sole companion, his confidant in the quiet solitude of his life. It was a haunting testament to the love that had consumed him, a love that had transcended the boundaries of death. With Maria Elena's effigy by his side, he continued to dwell in the shadows of his obsession. Dr. Carl Tanzler's story, as it unraveled through the years, left an indelible mark on the annals of human history. His passing in 1952, under circumstances as mysterious as his life, marked the end of a chapter that had both fascinated and perplexed the world. Conflicting reports surrounded the circumstances of his death. Some claimed he died in the embrace of Maria Elena's effigy, while others suggested he had been found behind one of his organs. Regardless of the details, one thing remains certain: Dr. Carl Tanzler had ventured into the darkest recesses of love and obsession, a place where dreams intertwined with reality, and the human heart proved capable of the most unfathomable depths. His story, a testament to the enduring power of love and the fragile boundaries of sanity, continues to captivate and mystify those who encounter it. In the wake of this unsettling tale, Key West, the picturesque town where love and madness collided, would forever carry the echoes of Dr. Carl Tanzler's enigmatic journey. The sea would continue to whisper its secrets. The palm trees would sway in silent contemplation, and the world would be left with a haunting reminder that the line between devotion and delusion can be at times almost imperceptible